Hi, welcome to what will be the new shop for Swanky Slab. My name is Chris Draper, and we have just moved into this new house. We had to move from a 6-car garage to a 3-car garage, of which I'm only going to use about 2 cars of the garage worth of the garage. How many times can I say garage? It is extremely dark in here, extremely dark in here. In fact, without this ring light that I just put on here, this is what it looks like. It is beyond user-friendly as far as being able to run your tools and all that type of stuff with low light situation like this. And we obviously all can't film either. So, let's turn this back on. At least we have one little light in here that can help. But what we're going to do today is we are going to add lighting to this whole garage so that we can have a nice, bright, functional area that we can do our business in. So we have 2 small lights. They need to be traded out, and we bought this new from Amazon. This is an Amazon purchase. It was relatively inexpensive, and it comes with 10 of these LED light strips, and then plenty of linking cables, so they're all linkable, so we can have one power source, one switch, have them all linked, and they should all turn on at the same time. This should be a far cry better than what we're dealing with right now. And so we have linking cables, we have power cables that come with it, we have these little pigtails right here, and these little pigtails are also for linking. We just don't, depending on how we're linking them together and that type of thing. And then plenty of clips. Sorry, this one's open. Of course it is. This one's open. Plenty of clips and other linking accessories for putting these lights up. It should be a relatively easy job. Based off of what I've researched and seen. We'll find out. The biggest thing is going to be addressing where the power is coming from. So we're going to go ahead and tackle that real quick, and let's get started. Welcome to Swanky Slab. This is one of the first videos that you're going to see. If you like it, please subscribe. Don't stare at it. But these are our lights that we have to deal with. And the first thing we're going to do is get rid of them. The first thing we need to do is remove this lens or cap for this light and turn off the power at the breaker. Not the switch. Don't turn it off at the switch. There's still a possibility there could be power to the light, so we want to make sure it's turned off at the breaker to ensure that we do not shock ourselves. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove it, and as we removed it, we realized that it was just a surface mount and not an actual can, and that is actually a good thing because we can get to this junction box, and that ought to make it relatively easy to pigtail out of this junction box and put in another box where we can put in a duplex plug. So as we fiddle around with trying to get this light out of this junction box so that we can sort our wires, we then can now look for a stud. Now for this, I'm not looking for a stud to drill into or affix something to. I'm actually looking for a stud so that we can avoid it and find a good location for a junction box that we can put our duplex plug into. So with a little bit of movie magic, we are going to, oh, look, that junction box is already in, and we have already added about 2 feet of Romex 14.2 in order to pigtail out of this junction box and give us a new socket that will be on the switch leg. So as we strip our wires and get everything set up, we will then quickly install the light and we will be good to go. So here we are. We're now installing the light. This is not a hard thing if you have done it before. If not, I'm not an electrician and I'm not going to tell you how to do it because I don't want you to say, well, Swanky Slab said this. No, we can talk about woodwork, but I'm not going to talk about electrical here. But if you don't know what you're doing, hire an electrician and you will be in good shape. So as we install this light is only going to take another couple seconds, and then we can screw it in, test it, and make sure that we have power to where our new socket is going to go. So a little drill in here and we should be done. Are we done? I don't know. Nope, we're gonna take it back down. Obviously, at this point in time, I realized we did not have power, so I took it back down in order to check my connections, and what I realized is that I'm an idiot, and I forgot to turn the breaker back on to check the power. So, all this work is really for nothing. So, now that we have it buttoned back up, we are going to go ahead and finish installing this duplex plug into this old work junction box. And I know the lighting is bad, but remember, that is why we're doing this, is because we cannot see in this shop. I have one spotlight pointed up at this in order just to barely be able to get this work done. It is really tough situation inside the shop, but with a few connections, we are going to quickly have a duplex plug also on the same switch leg of this shop so that we can start attaching some of our new LED light tubes and start brightening up this place. So get excited because here it comes. And now for the moment of truth, we're going to plug this new light bar light strip in and see if it works. And we plug it in and we just kind of precariously hang it there and we turn it on and the light strip didn't turn on. Oh no. Now what? Well, we just look at it. Nope, we forgot there's a switch in the cord, and once you turn that switch on, guess what? We now have lights. Turn it on, turn it off, they work together. This is beautiful. So I'm going to climb back up this ladder and we are going to start positioning where these are going to go. So I pulled out my tape measure and I'm doing a really good job of showing you guys that I don't know what I'm doing, obviously, with the tape measure. I mean, I really do, but for some reason I could not get it to extend out and be where I needed it to be. So I just eyeballed it. And I said, this looks like a good spot to put one of these clips. So I screwed it in. All it took is one little screw. These little clips are actually remarkably strong and they're really nice because you can almost hold up an entire light bar with just one strip. However, you really should be using two or more, obviously, or they will probably fall off. But for the purpose of installing, I put one strip in, one clip in, and then I looked and I tried to figure out how am I going to screw in another clip on the other side without this whole thing falling down. And how do I mark it? How do I get to it? So I rebalanced it, removed the ladder, and what did I do the first time? I eyeballed it. Well, guess what? I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna eyeball it and stick it up there, hoping that it is the right distance and that it will fit. So we screw one up in there, and then it is time to install the first light bar. And it's as easy as clipping it into these two clips. So I clipped it into one, and then I moved over to the other, and I clipped it into the other, and voila, we have our first light bar, and it is already a lot brighter. So I started working my way around the room, and we just did what we did the first time, and I tried to get smart. So I said, okay, if one clip can hold it, but if I hold it at the end, it doesn't work. So let's put one in the middle, and then we'll put one towards the end, and that'll hold my bar while I move the ladder. And as you can see, I'm trying to line up. Is this actually straight? Does it look good? So it wasn't straight and it didn't look good, so I moved it to where it looked good. I put a couple marks so I know where my clip needs to go, and I screw in a clip. Pretty simple. Once that clips in, we snap this one into place, and we remove the old clip that we used just to hold it. And as we continue to move around, we just kind of figure out the best way to do this. And whether it's the best way or not, it worked. And that was the point. So we used one of the connectors to connect these two light bars together and make one large light bar. And it's a really simple connector. You just plug it into both sides. Again, we put one clip in, kind of aligned it, and then figured out where we're going to put the other clip in, and pretty soon we had another light bar installed. Then I just moved over and made sure it was firmly seated together, and that's about the time I realized, you know what, this configuration that I was working on, even though I kind of designed it out ahead of time, wasn't going to work. And so I switched the bar around so that the leader would come out the other side, and it was as simple as removing the bar and flipping it around. And now we should have a way to reach these bars, which are going to go over the miter saw table. I guess if I could speak, it would be good. So we are now affixing, oh darn, I dropped one and almost hit myself in the head there. But we are installing this one to go over the miter saw, and then we moved over to the other side of the room where our other light was. Again, I'm checking for studs. Oh, I think I found one. Or am I racing cars on top of the ceiling? Not really sure. We're gonna cut this miter box in. I didn't show you the last one. I just marked the miter box, I just mark the box out. So I have my four corners, and I used a multi-tool and just quickly cut it out. Once it's cut out, I knock it out and we get to installing. One of the nice things about doing this all in the same bay as the junction box is, and when I say bay I mean between studs, is that I can fish it by hand, meaning all I have to do is run the wire up and through the junction box, and then I can stick my hand up in that hole like I'm noodling a catfish, and I can grab the wire and pull it right back out. And that allows us a really quick, easy way to bring some power over to a switched leg duplex. So as we work on pulling this wire through this box and getting this box installed, it's as easy as screwing two screws, and there's two little tabs that pop out that grab onto the other side of the drywall and cinch it up. We cut this wire off, and then we start our wiring process. Again, not going to tell you exactly how to wire because I'm not an electrician and I don't want you to go out and hurt yourself. So if you don't know what you're doing, call an electrician. If you do, have at it. It's pretty simple. So we install this plug, and I've already shown you how to do this on one, or I've already shown it done on the other side. It's really just the same. So we are probably just going to jump forward and get the next light bars installed. But first we need to button up this light and plug assembly so that it is nice and safe, so that we can then go ahead and plug it. And we'll probably need to test it too. And oh wait, let's not forget, we probably need to turn on the power. Hey, and it works. We already installed the first light here, and as you can see, it is working. We now have one light over that bay, which is not a bay that we're going to use for the actual shop. And then you can see me kind of going, okay, where are the lights going? Where is the path of the lights going? How are all the connectors going to connect? And that's why I was spinning around with my hand in the air. But as we did this, I said, you know what? We have two sockets. might as well plug this one into the other socket, and I needed to get this one back over towards our 2-car side of the garage. And so we're gonna take a diagonal approach to this one, and that'll bring us to where we're skipping ahead. And whoa, we now have lights in almost all parts of our shop. And I didn't think you wanted to see me install every single light bar. That would be boring. So what we did here though is I realized I didn't like where that particular bar was placed. And just to show you how easy it is to change the position of one, all I did was I installed one bracket, I moved the bar, I moved it into the new place, then I go and mark where I want the new brackets to be. I move it, snap it into place. Oh, I dropped it out of the other side. And once I get everything finished and installed, we are done with the layout for this shop. Well, now we're all done putting up the lights, and we put them up in a kind of an arrangement because I didn't really care about the pattern on the ceiling. I cared about where the light was covering because again, I'm working on a functional shop here. So you can make it as symmetrical as you want to. They did say in the instructions that you should probably only put 4 to 5 on a line. That I put in 2 separate sockets that are both tied into the switch that we have for the 2 lights that were existing. This was an easy electrical job. If you are not comfortable with electrical, don't do it. If you are comfortable, by all means, that's up to you. But if you need somebody to help you, call an electrician or do what you need to do. With that being said, I added 2 because there was only supposed to be 4 to 5 lights per line, and there's 10 lights. So I wanted to make sure I had at least 2 plug-in spots to run them in series that way. Because if you run more than 4 or 5, it says that it could drop off power. So there's about 5 on each series, and it is covering quite good. In fact, so well that I think I might need to put on the sunglasses for the reveal. And here we go. We can literally see in this shop. The miter table that I'm currently building, I'll be putting a video out on that here really shortly, as well as the new miter saw that I bought to fit this table. We'll be doing a product review and showing how it kind of goes in and all that type of stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It just helps the channel. So please, thanks, and welcome to the new shop. And as we continue to build it out, you guys will all be involved in being able to see everything that I do. You can critique me, you can tell me I'm doing it wrong. It's okay. As long as you are getting something out of it, that's what I'm here for. So thank y'all, and welcome again to Swanky Slab. Thanks for joining, and we're out of here.